Welcome to TV Sapienta News at 1. I am Oluchi Ojo Bamidele. On the news, President Bola Tinubu has defended his administration's economic reforms, saying he took some decisions to sustain healthy growth for Nigeria. The president stated this yesterday at the State House in Abuja while receiving a special envoy from the Emir of the State of Qatar, Dr. Mohammed bin Abdulaziz. He noted that ongoing reforms to streamline Nigeria's tax system have made it easier for foreign investors to do business in the country. The president said Nigeria's partnership with Qatar would be improved by looking into food sovereignty and economic prosperity, indicating Nigeria's readiness to build on the momentum generated by his state visit to Qatar in 2024. President Tinubu pledged to implement all bilateral agreements between the two countries. On his part, Dr. Al Khalifi, Qatar's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, conveyed Emir's strong interest in expanding bilateral cooperation, announcing that a high-level Qatari business delegation would visit Nigeria in the coming weeks to explore opportunities in agriculture, food security, and other critical sectors. Igala Nursing Association of Nigeria Abuja chapter has called on students of Yangogo College of Nursing Sciences, Kuje, to inculcate values and conduct that reflect the integrity and nobility of the nursing profession. The call was made by the president of the association, Dr. Christy Awuno, during a visit to the college to commemorate the 2025 Nurses Week, celebrated globally from May 6 to May 12. Dr. Awuno maintained that nursing is far more than bedside care, and students must broaden their perspective on the profession. She described nursing as a dynamic and responsive discipline, encouraging students to embrace learning, innovation, and technology to transform the health system. The president assured the students that Igala Nurses Association of Nigeria would continue to support nursing development in Nigeria and called on other NGOs and stakeholders to collaborate with the association in advancing healthcare outcomes. The Nigerian Navy is set to deploy 6 ships and 2 helicopters for the 2025 exercise Urban Game. This was disclosed yesterday by the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, who inaugurated the annual exercise express in Lagos. Ogala, who was represented at the event by the flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Mike Gregory Omen, said the Nigerian Navy will be deploying 6 ships, 2 helicopters, and maritime domain awareness assets, as well as elements of the Nigerian Navy Special Boat Service and the Spanish ship ESPS Relampago. According to him, the focus for this year's exercise was on combating small arms and light weapons trafficking, as well as anti-narcotics operations. The exercise, which kicked off from May 9 to end on May 13, 2025, seeks to bring together partners from the Gulf of Guinea, the Americas, and Europe to evaluate the Nigerian Navy's capabilities in conducting maritime security operations alongside partner navies. Urban Game Express is an exercise initiated by the United States of America in conjunction with other navies of the world for global maritime security and has been ongoing for 14 years. A 25-year-old man, Samson Oganebreme, has been arrested in Odomola, community of Epe, local Lagos State, for being in possession of human organs. He was arrested by men of the Odono for Rija Police Division following a tip-off from vigilante members of the community who alerted the authorities of the suspect's movement. The spokesman of the Lagos State Police Command, Benjamin Hunde, who disclosed this in a statement yesterday, said that Samson was allegedly transporting the organs from Edo State to deliver them to a native doctor for use in suspected money-making rituals. According to Hunde, the recovered human organs have been deposited at the General Hospital Epe for preservation, while the case has been transferred to the Edo State Police Command for continuation of investigation and prosecution. However, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Olondare Jimo, commended the swift response of the operatives and the vigilance of the Odomola community over the incident, emphasizing the importance of timely information sharing, which played a vital role in a prompt apprehension of the suspect. The commissioner further urged all residents of Lagos State to remain watchful and report any suspicious activities of individuals to the nearest police station. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board (JAMB) has announced the release of the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) results. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishaq Oloyede disclosed this on Friday during a press briefing in Abuja. He said over 1.9 million candidates sat for the examination across the country, noting that it is withholding the results of over 39,000 candidates due to issues related to examination malpractices. According to Oloyede, 80 individuals are currently being interrogated over various forms of examination fraud, with Anambra State recording the highest number of suspects, 14 in total. He added that 464 underage candidates who took the exam scored above the minimum cut-off mark, while 50 candidates have so far been linked to cheating. The JAMB boss, however, said this year's exercise will be remembered as the most successful in recent times. Yesterday, the protest by support staff of the Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company in Ekpan, Uvie local government area of Delta State, entered its sixth day, with the aggrieved workers accusing forces in the oil and gas sector of consciously sabotaging efforts to revive the nation's refineries. The workers, who are casual employees of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, vowed to continue the protest until their demands, including improved welfare and recognition as critical staff, are met. The protesters are sure that the Warri Refinery will remain inactive until NNPCL's top management approves better condition of service for them. The lead representative of the protesters, Dafe Igomitedo, declares that they have dedicated their useful and productive years to keeping the refinery afloat, yet salaries have been peanuts. He, however, appealed to the new NNPCL Group Chief Executive Officer, Bashir Ojulari, to urgently address their plight and end the needless embarrassment the situation is causing the country. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, has declared that there is nothing wrong in Nigeria being a one-party state if Nigerians want it. He said that APC is willing and capable of integrating all defectors into its ranks. Ganduje said this to State House correspondents after he led three People's Democratic Party senators from Kebbi State to a meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja, yesterday. The lawmakers formally declared their intention to defect to the APC after the meeting. Ganduje said the APC's constitution and its internal structures provided clear guidance for integrating its new members. He described the defection of the three lawmakers as strategic and beneficial to the party, noting it was the result of weeks of underground negotiations and consultations among key stakeholders in Kebbi State. Ganduje also argued that the mass defections were not harbingers of one-party state, as many political actors presume, but a signal the APC's growing dominance, spurred by its performance and appeal nationwide. The United Nations World Food Programme and WFP has warned that millions of people in West and Central Africa are facing record hunger as conflict, displacement, economic hardship, and repeated extreme weather push the region towards a major crisis. It added that no fewer than 36 million people are struggling to meet their basic food needs, which is projected to rise to over 52 million during the lean season from June to August, latest analysis reveals. This includes almost 3 million people facing emergency conditions and 2,600 people in Mali who are at risk of catastrophic hunger. The regional director for West and Central Africa, Margot van der Vendel, said without immediate funding, the program will be forced to scale down even further, both in the number of people reached and the size of food rations distributed. Speaking from Dakar to journalists in Geneva yesterday, Velden said the UN agency is seeking $710 million to support its life-saving operations through the end of October to reach almost 12 million people this year with critical assistance. The World Food Programme also called for governments and partners to invest in sustainable solutions aimed at building resilience and reducing long-term dependency on aid. The United States says it will cut $50 million in annual aid to Zambia because of systemic theft of donated drugs and medical supplies. Washington's ambassador to the country, Michael Gonzalez, said the difficult decision comes after repeated warnings to the government to safeguard their vital medicines, which includes life-saving drugs to treat malaria, HIV, and tuberculosis. According to him, the U.S. discovered in 2021 that medicines and medical supplies that were meant to be provided free to Zambians were being taken and sold by pharmacies across the country. Gonzalez said the Zambian government failed to do enough to address the corruption after being informed of the theft scandal last year. He, however, insisted that the U.S. is no longer willing to underwrite the personal enrichment of fraudsters with American taxpayers' money. Ukraine's Western allies, including the U.S., are threatening to hit Russia with more sanctions if Moscow fails to sign up to the 30-day truce in Ukraine proposed by the United States. U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday added the threat of additional sanctions from the U.S. and its partners to his latest call for an unconditional ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine that Moscow has repeatedly rejected. Trump has made ending the war in Ukraine one of his priorities, and he has invested much efforts into trying to get Russian President Vladimir Putin on board. Also, Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff went to Russia 4 times to meet with Putin, and there have been several other high-level meetings between U.S. and Russian officials since Trump returned to the White House in January. The French President Emmanuel Macron said on X that he spoke with Trump several times on Thursday, commending his strong call for an unconditional 30-day ceasefire. Macron added that if Russia fails to accept the proposal, France is ready to respond firmly, together with all Europeans and in close coordination with the United States. A key meeting of leaders of Ukraine's European allies is expected in Kyiv today in a further sign of growing pressure on Russia. Now to the world of sports, where the Nigerian Society of the Blind is set to hold its 27th Annual Sports Day on May 15, 2025 at the Yaba College of Technology Sports Center, Lagos State. This year's event, themed Champions of Inclusivity, is expected to feature an exciting array of competitions, including match pass, round the game, long jump, shot put, goal ball, tug of war, skittle game, and a 50-meter race. The chairperson, Aritunde Moyo, in a statement on Friday, said the annual celebration is more than just a sports gathering, saying it is a powerful statement about strength, independence, and the limitless potential of the visually impaired. Imoy noted that the sports day not only showcased the athletic talent of blind and visually impaired participants, but also served as an awareness platform to spotlight their daily challenges and promote a more inclusive society. She called on the public, stakeholders, and advocates for disability inclusions to come and witness the triumph of spirit over limitation. Filipino boxing great Manny Pacquiao will come out of retirement to face Mario Barrios of the WBC Welterweight Championship on the 19th of July in Las Vegas this year. Pacquiao, 46, won world championships in a record 8 weight divisions from flyweight to super welterweight. He retired in 2021 after a 72-fight career during which he had 62 wins, 8 losses, and 2 draws. A Filipino senator from 2016 to 2022, Pacquiao ran for president in 2022 and is currently in a race for the Senate, with the election scheduled for 12th of May this year. Pacquiao, whose fast footwork and blistering speed of punches made him one of the top offensive fighters in the sport's history, is also set to be inducted into the International Hall of Fame next month. And that was the Sapientia News at 1. On behalf of the technical and editorial crew, I am Oluchi Ojobamdele. Thank you for choosing TV Sapientia. Bye for now.